Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
Now that Kevin Feige has clarified that Avengers Secret Wars is going to be a reset, not a full reboot, there's a pretty exciting path opening up in the MCU. And if you caught the hints, and especially if you saw the title of the video we're talking about, it's pretty obvious who Marvel might be lining up next to shake things up for Hulk. That's right, it's Maestro. This isn't just some random villain. Maestro Hulk has been around in Marvel Comics for decades, and he's the kind of character that can seriously flip Bruce Banner's story on its head. So who exactly is Maestro? Well, he's basically what happens when the Hulk goes full dark side. Created by Peter David and George Pérez back in 1992, Maestro first showed up in the Incredible Hulk Future Imperfect. He's a version of Hulk from an alternate future timeline, one where the world's gone through a nuclear war and everything's in ruins. The wild part? Maestro isn't just another mindless bruiser. He has Bruce Banner's intelligence and Hulk's strength, but all his worst traits, like arrogance, rage, and that thirst for control, are dialed way up. The story kicks off after humanity basically nukes itself out of existence. Hulk, being immune to radiation, survives. Eventually, he's captured by AIM and MODOK, who are trying to understand how he survived the radiation. But years later, Hulk escapes and starts wandering the remains of the world. What he finds is pretty grim. Everything's trashed, from Mount Rushmore to the Hoover Dam. Society is a wreck. Then he stumbles across this underground civilization that's somehow still alive. But surprise, it's ruled by none other than Hercules, who's acting like a total power-drunk dictator. Hulk's not immediately motivated to help, probably because he blames humanity for nuking itself into oblivion. But then he meets his old pal Rick Jones, who reminds him that he once fought for people, regular flawed people who mattered to him. That memory lights a fire in him, so Hulk builds a little resistance group called the Dogs of War to take down Hercules. After some seriously brutal battles, Hulk finally manages to poison Hercules with the help from Vapor, one of the UFOs. But then he betrays her too, freezes her, shatters her, and buries the pieces so she can't come back. Yeah, Maestro doesn't mess around. And even though it seems like Hercules is gone for good, he ends up returning from the underworld, fueled by vengeance. Still, with a little help from Forge's old tech, Maestro finishes him off once and for all. After that, Hulk embraces his new identity. He's not just a survivor, he's a ruler now. He takes the name Maestro and starts spreading his twisted version of peace, calling it Pax. Basically, it's world peace under his iron fist. He starts expanding his control to other areas like Connecticut, and even teams up with Dr. Doom for a bit. But since we're talking about two massive egos here, things eventually fall apart between them, and they go at it. Doom ends up backing off after a big showdown, but then Maestro is way more powerful than ever, thanks to all the radiation he's absorbed from the post-nuclear landscape. The downside? He's also gone completely mad. Things only get crazier when characters like Proteus and Spider-Man 2099 show up, jumping between timelines. At one point, a group of rebels uses Doom's time machine to bring a younger, more heroic version of Hulk from the past to stop Maestro. It's a risky move, but it kind of works. Young Hulk tricks Maestro into getting sent back in time to the moment the original Gamma Bomb went off, basically ground zero of Hulk's creation. Maestro shows up right next to the bomb as it explodes, and boom, he's gone. Or so everyone thinks. Turns out, Maestro's spirit didn't totally disappear. Instead, it kind of lingers at that explosion site, feeding off all the gamma radiation that builds up there over time. Every time Hulk visits Ground Zero, Maestro's spirit gets a little stronger. Eventually, he reforms, but he's in rough shape. Thin, weak, just barely holding on. That's when a bunch of Asgardian trolls show up and try to help by giving him the Destroyer armor, hoping it'll help him regain some power. But Hulk's not easy to outwit. He uses a clever trick, transferring his own soul into the Destroyer armor during the fight. Because Maestro is technically still part of him, Hulk is able to force Maestro's spirit back into his weakened body. Then he buries him and the trolls under a rock slide. Brutal, but effective. Later on, when Bruce becomes Doc Green, a hyper-intelligent version of Hulk after getting injected with Extremis, things take a strange turn. Doc Green starts having these visions of Maestro, almost like glimpses of a future he might become. It's like his mind is warning him, this is where you're headed if you keep chasing power. That realization freaks him out enough that he asks She-Hulk to stop him if he ever goes too far. So Maestro isn't just another villain. He's what Bruce Banner could become if things spiral out of control. And now, with Robert Downey Jr. returning to the MCU as Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday, we might finally see Maestro in live action. RDJ playing Doom is already a wild twist, especially since he's not a variant of Iron Man, but a whole new character. That twist alone sets up an awesome opportunity for variant-heavy storytelling, and that's exactly where Maestro could come in. Because now that the multiverse is fully in play, thanks to Loki, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Multiverse of Madness, Marvel has room to introduce all kinds of alternate versions of heroes and villains. If Doom ends up being a dark mirror of Tony Stark, then Maestro could be Hulk's version of that, a distorted reflection of what he could be at his worst. It's all there: rage, loss, power, intellect, all twisted into one massive threat. And let's be real, the MCU has had its share of great villains, but Maestro hits different. He's not just another big bad to punch, he's deeply personal. He is Hulk. He's not an alien invader or a robot overlord, he's a terrifying future that Bruce could still become. That emotional angle gives Maestro the potential to be a saga-level villain, right up there with Thanos or Doom. Even better, Maestro's arrival could finally bring Hulk back into the center of the MCU. Ever since Endgame, Hulk's been kind of sidelined. Sure, She-Hulk gave us some fun moments, and we met his son Scar, but Bruce hasn't had a real spotlight in years. Maestro could fix that. And the best part is, Marvel could do it all without needing a solo Hulk movie, since distribution rights are still a mess with Universal. Instead, Maestro could be introduced through ensemble stories or crossover events. That keeps Hulk relevant and lets his story evolve in meaningful ways. Plus, it opens the door to something fans have been quietly waiting for: a full-on Gamma Power team-up. Think about it. We've already got She-Hulk, Scar, a reformed Abomination, and Red Hulk on the horizon. That's a whole crew of Gamma-powered characters just waiting for a reason to unite. Facing Maestro could be that reason. And it wouldn't just be about stopping a bad guy, it'd be about facing their own legacies, dealing with the power and trauma that comes with being Gamma irradiated, and maybe even healing some old wounds. This could all set the stage for a Gamma Saga, a storyline that explores how power can twist identity, fracture relationships, and test what it means to be a hero. Maestro would be at the center of that, not just as the villain, but as a symbol of what happens when strength goes unchecked and pain goes unresolved. In the end, bringing Maestro into the MCU wouldn't just give us another awesome villain, it would reignite the heart of Hulk's character. It would remind everyone that Bruce Banner's story isn't finished, not even close. And if Marvel plays their cards right, Maestro could define an entire new era of the MCU. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.